Welcome to Anatomy of a Resume, presented by Dakota County Workforce Services, a proud partner of Minnesota Career Force. Please know that even in these difficult times, staff are available during business hours to assist you in your job search. If you have questions about looking for work, including resume reviews, please contact us by email at careerforce.weststpaul@state.mn.us or call our main telephone number at 651-554-5955. Before we begin, I would like to clarify that resume writing is an art, not a science. You can ask 10 people to look at your resume and get 15 different answers. Today we will focus on best practices and general guidelines with regard to resumes. But please be aware there is no one single way to write a resume. Just like people, every resume is unique, and depending on your background and career goals, you may take a slightly different approach to your resume than your neighbor or brother or uncle might. Resumes are a tool, and you need to be comfortable with that tool if your resume is going to work for you. To get started, it doesn't matter if your resume is chronological, functional, or some sort of combination. All resumes have the same pieces, just not always in the same places. So let's begin. Regardless of format, your resume should begin with your contact information. List your first and last name. Middle initial is a personal choice. If you do not like your middle name, don't use it. If you have a preferred name or a nickname that you go by, you can include this in parentheses where the middle name would typically go. Include your phone number with area code, the phone number that is easiest for employers to get a hold of you. And don't forget to check that your outgoing message is professional and that your mailbox is not full. Also, include your email address and check it regularly. This is the primary means of communication for many employers. And as a reminder, make sure your email is professional. No crazy cat lady or rockstar 123, etc. Now for the optional pieces. One of the current trends among resumes is that the street address no longer needs to be on your resume. However, consider including the current city and state where you live. As stated previously, resume writing is an art, not a science, and different industries have different opinions. Some prefer city and state, others may not. So I will encourage you to let networking, another important part of the job search, determine what is right for you. If you are using LinkedIn and have a profile that is ready for viewing, I would include a LinkedIn link in this section as well. Career summary or professional overview. This section is your first introduction to an employer, so please give a brief overview, 3 to 5 statements of your skills and accomplishments as related to the specific job to which you are applying. This can be in a short paragraph form or 3 to 5 bullet points, whichever you are more comfortable with. Remember, the purpose of a resume is to get an interview. If you do not remember this, please visit the earlier presentation, Introduction to Resumes. As a job seeker, it is your responsibility to prove to employers you are the right person for the job. Focus on the skills you have that can get the job done. Employers are not mind readers. You need to tell them why they should hire you. Otherwise, they will not know. This section should be customized to the job posting as much as possible. So most likely this will change even a little bit every time you send out your resume. Regardless of format, whether chronological, functional, or combination, all resumes should include your work history. They're just not always in the same place. Typically, the recommendation is to list the last 10 to 15 years of employment or the last 3 job titles on the resume, even if your last 3 jobs were at the same company. There is no need to list every job you have had since the beginning of time. This will also help avoid possible age discrimination and/or appearing too overqualified. Now, this is a guideline, not a hard and fast rule. If your last 3 job titles end up being 17 years, or if you have 2 jobs in the last 10 years, that's okay too. If you do have questions regarding your own personal resume, please contact your local career force location. Also note that although they can often contain similar information, resumes and applications have different purposes. Applications are considered legal documents, which is why they may ask for additional information such as supervisor's name, reason for leaving, starting ending salary, etc. You can use your resume, however, to copy and paste into applications, and some application systems will allow you to attach a resume as part of their process. Resumes should also include skills and accomplishments, whether this is underneath the job title as in a chronological format or as groupings in a functional resume. Skills and accomplishments are key. Highlight achievements from your past to show employers you have the skills they need for your next job. And again, focus on the essentials. There can be such a thing as too much information when it comes to resumes. The skills that you do want to focus on may include job-specific or technical skills, self-management, also known as soft skills, or transferable skills. A transferable skill is the same skill that is used in 2 different occupations. For example, I can work as a server in a restaurant, greet people, answer phones, and make dinner reservations. I can also work as a medical receptionist in a dentist office, greet people, answer phones, and schedule dental appointments. It's the same skill, but is used in 2 different occupations. For those of us in career transition, being able to communicate transferable skills on your resume will be key. Try to be specific whenever possible. If you can include a number or a percentage with your skill, then do so. I realize this is not always possible, but consider adding details. If you were writing a report, who were you writing it for? What kind of report was it? How often did you do this? Adding details will make it easier for hiring managers to understand that you can get the job done. Education and training is another section to include on your resume. It can be towards the top or at the bottom. Either is fine. I know of some people who split education, certificates, and training into separate sections. Work-related certificates are at the top, general education at the bottom. Whichever you choose is up to you. Remember, there is no right way to do this. As far as what to include, the name of the school or training organization, city and state where it was located if applicable, and degree or certificate obtained, as well as the date of completion. If you are currently in a training program, you can say expected completion and a date. If you started a training program but did not complete it, which does happen, then you can say general coursework or coursework in. I have also seen resumes that said completed 103 credits at the university, which is fine. Just make sure that whatever you state on your resume is true. Never lie on your resume. As far as general guidelines, typically include the date of completion if it has been 5 years or less. Otherwise, leave the school in, but take the year out. As much as we wish it wasn't true, age discrimination does exist. Now, an application may ask for dates of completion for college, but as stated before, applications and resumes have different purposes. We often get questions about what to do with your high school diploma. If you are currently a high school student or a recent graduate, please include this information on your resume. As stated on the previous slide, include the name of the school, city and state where it is located, and date of completion, or expected date of completion if you are still in school. Once you go on to further education and training, whether it is a 2-year college, 4-year college, trade school, apprenticeship, or other, then include these and you may take high school off your resume. And, as previously stated, try to target these certificates, training, and education to the specific job you are applying for. Other categories to consider: If you have military experience, you may wish to include this on your resume. Some organizations give preference to hiring military veterans, so if this applies to you, please take credit for your service. Professional associations and memberships, especially if you served in a leadership role or on a committee. Awards and certificates. However, try to limit these to professional awards. Employee of the Month says a lot. Perfect attendance in second grade? Not so much. Same with regard to volunteer experience. If you used skills related to the job you are applying for, then definitely include them, but otherwise leave them out.
This has been Anatomy of a Resume, presented by Dakota County Workforce Services. Stay tuned for future presentations, including resume formats and types. And remember, if you need assistance with your job search, including resume reviews, staff are available to assist you. Email us at careerforce.weststpaul@state.mn.us or call us at 651-554-5955. Thank you and good luck.